Emirates, simply called the Emirates or the UAE, is a country located in the southeast end of the Arabian Peninsula on the Persian Gulf, bordering Oman to the east and Saudi Arabia to the south, as well as sharing sea borders with Qatar, Iran and Pakistan. The UAE is established on 2 December 1971. The country is a federation of 7 emirates. Each emirate is governed by a hereditary emir, who jointly form the Federal Supreme Council, which is the highest legislative and executive body in the country. One of the emirates is selected as the President of the United Arab Emirates. The constituent emirates are Abu Dhabi, Ajman, Dubai, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, Sharjah and Al Quwain. The capital of the city is Abu Dhabi, which is one of the 2 centers of commercial and cultural activities together with Dubai. Islam is the official religion of the UAE and Arabic is the official language. In 1962, Abu Dhabi became the first of the Emirates to begin exporting oil. The late Sheikh Zayed, ruler of Abu Dhabi and the first president of the UAE, oversaw the development of the Emirates and steered out revenues into healthcare, education and infrastructure. Today, Emirates oil reserves are ranked as the 7th largest in the world, along with the world's 17th largest natural gas reserve. Emirates has a developed high-income economy which enjoys a sizable annual trade surplus which ranks as the world's 19th highest in terms of GDP per capita. As for the history of the United Arab Emirates, the earlier known human habitation in the UAE dated from 5500 BC. At this early stage, there is proof of interaction with the outside world, particularly with civilizations to the northwest in Mesopotamia. This contact persisted and became wide-ranging, probably motivated by trade in copper from the Hajj Mountains, which commenced around 3000 BC. Foreign trade, the recurring motif in the history of this strategic region, flourished also in later periods, facilitated by the domestication of the camel at the end of the 2nd millennium BC. By the 1st century AD, overland caravan traffic between Syria and cities in southern Iraq began. Also, there was seaborne travel to the important port of Oman and then to India. These roads were an alternative to the Red Sea Road used by the Romans. Pearls have been exploited in the area for millennia, but at this time, the trade reached new heights. Seafaring was also a mainstay, and major fairs were held at Diba, bringing in merchants from as far as China. Before UAE became an independent country, it had been ruled by several countries, for example Portuguese, in the 1506 to 1620. The Portuguese expansion into the Indian Ocean in the early 16th century following Vasco da Gama's route of exploration saw the battle Safavid Persia up the coast of the Persian Gulf. In 1507, the Portuguese captain Alfonso de Albuquerque sailed a small fleet into the Gulf of Oman and the Straits of Hormuz, seeking a way of bypassing Arab tenders and taking control of the Indian Ocean to increase the amount of wealth flowing into the Portuguese monarchy coffers. Vasco da Gama was helped by Ahmad ibn Majid, a navigator and cartographer from Jaffa, to find the spice route from Asia. Alfonso de Albuquerque then set sail in 1506, intent on founding a Portuguese empire in the Persian Gulf. The following year, the year of the Emirates, soon became a target. After sacking Sohar in Oman, he pillaged and burned to the ground the foreign port of Khor before overwhelming Hormuz Island. Over the succeeding decades, the Portuguese invested considerable time and energy in trying to keep order along the coast of Arabia, as long Emirati tribes rebelled against Portuguese control and in fending off challenges from the Ottoman Empire. In the Emirates, Portuguese forts were constructed all along the east coast, beginning in the north at Diba and proceeding south to Khor Fakkan, Fujairah, Sharjah and Ras Al Khaimah. Remnants of the Portuguese fort have been located at Bidia and Jaffa, but the ruins of the remaining ghosts continue to elude archaeologists and historians. After rule by Saudis in 1744 to 1891 and British from 1892 to 1971, it reached its independence in 1971. Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan was the first president of UAE, and that's the history of United Arab Emirates. I am Lovie. Then, my friend Jack, real name of my call, will say about its history of Dubai.
My name is Jack, and I'm going to tell you about the history of Dubai. So, it starts at the year of 1833 that 800 members of the Bani Yas tribe, led by the Maktoum family, settled at the mouth of the creek. The creek was a natural harbour, and Dubai soon became a centre of fishing, pearling, and sea trade. So, by the turn of the 20th century, Dubai was a successful port. The souk on the Dera side of the creek was the largest on the coast with 350 shops and a steady throng of visitors and businessmen. By the 1930s, Dubai's population was nearly 20,000, a quarter of whom were expatriates. 1950s, the creek began to silt. A result perhaps that the amount of ships in Dubai has slowly increased. The late ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Rashid bin Zayed Al Maktoum, decided to have the waterway dredged. It was an ambitious, costly, and visionary project. The move resulted in increased volume of cargo handling in Dubai. Ultimately, it strengthened Dubai's position as a major trading and re-export hub. Okay, so in 1966, the oil was discovered. Sheikh Rashid utilized the oil revenues to spur infrastructure development in Dubai. So schools, hospitals, roads, modern telecommunication network. The pace of development was frenetic. A new port and also a terminal building were built at Dubai International Airport. A runway extension that could accommodate any type of aircraft was implemented. The largest man-made harbour in the world was constructed at Jebel Ali, and a free zone was created around the port. Dubai's formula for development was becoming evident to everyone, so it included about visionary leadership, high-quality infrastructure, and expatriate-friendly environment, zero tax on personal and corporate income, and low import duties. The result was that Dubai quickly became a business and tourism hub for a region that stretches from Egypt to the Indian subcontinent and from South Africa to what are now called the CIS countries. Since the 1960s, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the ruler of Abu Dhabi, and Sheikh Rashid bin Zayed Al Maktoum had dreamed of creating a federation of the Emirates in the region. Their dream was realized in 1971 when Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah, and Ras Al Khaimah joined to create the United Arab Emirates. Under the late Sheikh Zayed, which is known as the first president of UAE, the UAE has developed into one of the richest countries in the world with a per capita GDP in excess of US dollars 17,000 per annum. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Dubai took a strategic decision to emerge as a major international quality tourism destination. Investment in tourism infrastructure have paid off handsomely over the years. Dubai is now a city that boasts unmatchable hotels, remarkable architects, and world-class entertainment and sporting events. The beautiful Burj Al Arab Hotel, presiding over the coastline of Jumeirah Beach, is the world's only one hotel with a 7-star rating. The Emirates Towers are one of the many structures that remind us of the commercial confidence in the city that expands at a remarkable rate, standing 350 meters high. The office tower is the tallest building in the Middle East and Europe. Dubai also hosts major international sporting events. The Dubai Desert Classic is a major stop on the Professional Golf Association Tour, the Dubai Open and ATP Tennis Tournament, and the Dubai World Cup, the world's richest horse race, draw thousands every year. Dubai, the Arab world's glittering golden embodiment of capitalism, is broke. On November 25, the Emirate announced it would postpone payments on some of its 80,000 billion in debt, sending markets into a tailspin. While Dubai origins are largely a mystery, what is now Rhode Island, sized principality on the Persian Gulf, was just a pearl fishing village when its current rulers, the Maktoum family, took over in 1883 along with those of others Arab Emirates. Its fortunes changed abruptly in 1966 with the discovery of oil, but compared with its neighbour, Dubai had limited reserves, prompting its rulers to turn to other industries to fill their bold economic aspirations. Starting in the 1980s, at the prompting of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, when Crown Prince, Dubai fashioned itself into a free trade oasis. It opened a tax-free infotech hub, Dubai Internet City, in 2000 to attract technologies, companies, media, finance, and maritime projects. By 1892, foreign traders had begun to flock to Dubai after the Emirate declared they would be exempt from tax. As a result, the population doubled and the burgeoning pearl industry started to boom. This lasted until the 1930s when the recessions and subsequent depression hit Dubai's pearls industry, causing it to fall into decline, leading to feuds between the royals and social power. So that's the history of Dubai. Thank you.
Building structure is the assemblage of bodies in space from a system that capable to support goods. Structure is important to any building, especially high-rise building like Burj Khalifa. The structure of Burj Khalifa was designed to behave like a giant column, cross-sectional shape that is a reflection of the building massing and profile. The superstructure of Burj Khalifa is designed as an all-reinforced concrete building with high-performance concrete from the foundation level to level 156 and is topped with a structural steel brace frame from level 156 to the highest point of the tower. The Y-shaped structural system enables the building to support itself laterally from twisting. The tower is founded on 3,700mm thick, high-performance reinforced piles supported rock foundation. The foundation utilizes high-performance self-compacting concrete. This makes over waterproofing effective. The tower massing is driven by wind engineering requirement, reduce dynamic wind excitation. As the tower spiral into the sky, the building width and shape diminish, thus reducing wind dynamic effects, movement, and acceleration. Integrating wind and engineering principles and requirements into the architectural design of the tower resulted in the stable dynamic response and in taming the powerful wind forces. While the wind behavior of this super tall building is one of the most important design criteria to be considered, gravity load management is also important as it has impact on the overall efficiency and performance of the tower. Most of the tower overturning resistance is managed mostly by the tower's own gravity load section. All the vertical members are proportional resist gravity loads on equal stress basis to overcome column strengthening issues that are generally difficult to manage in super tall buildings. The tower's lateral load resisting system consists of high-performance reinforced concrete ductile core walls linked to the exterior reinforced concrete column through a series of reinforced concrete shear wall panels and mechanical levels. At the top of the center reinforced concrete core wall is a very tall spire tops the building, which is 244 meters. The lateral root resistance system of the spire consists of a diagonal shaped structural steel bracing system from level 156 to the top of the spire at approximately 750 meters above.
Rising 828 meters over the desert metropolis of Dubai, the Burj Khalifa Tower is the world's tallest structure. The 280,000 square meters skyscraper contains office, residential, and retail space, along with a Georgia Army hotel. Built of reinforced concrete and clad in glass, the tower is composed of three elements arranged around a central buttress core. As it rises from a flat base, setbacks occur at each element in an outward spiraling pattern, reducing the tower's mass as it reaches skyward. At the pinnacle, the central core emerges and is sculpted to form a spire. SOM created a simple Y-shaped plan to reduce wind forces, as well as to foster constructability. Each wing with its own high-performance concrete core and perimeter columns, buttresses the other via a six-sided central core, or hexagonal hub. The result is a tower that is extremely steep torsionally, SOM applied a rigorous geometry to the tower that aligned all of the common central core and column elements. These are the comparison of Burj Khalifa floor plans with other super tall skyscrapers. Known architect Adrian Smith designed the building over 2 years after his former base firm Skateboard Owings and Merrill won the design competition from MR in year 2003. Below the 4 communication floors are 30 boutique office floors, and beneath those is a combination of luxury residential and residential apartments. Closer to the bottom, Burj Khalifa features hotel residences, and at the ground level will be hotel facilities. Concourse level to level 8 and level 38 and 39 will feature the Harmony Hotel Dubai. Levels 9 to 16 will exclusively house luxurious 1 and 2-bedroom Harmony residences. Floors 45 through 108 are private ultra-luxury residences. The Comrie suites occupy most of the remaining floors, except for level 122, which houses a restaurant atmosphere, and level 124, the tower's public observatory. For the convenience of homeowners, the tower has been divided into sections, with exclusive sky lobbies on levels 43, 76, and 123 that feature state-of-the-art fitness facilities, including a jacuzzi on level 43 and 76. The sky lobbies on 43 and 76 additionally house swimming pools and a recreational room each that can be utilized for gatherings and lifestyle events, offering an unparalleled experience. Both pools open to the outside, offering residents the option of swimming from inside to the outside balcony. Other facilities for residents include a residence library and a Lafayette gourmet convenience store, and a meeting place for the residents. Valet parking is provided for guests and visitors. Burj Khalifa houses hotel space on the lowest floors, residential space on the mid-level floors, and office space on the highest inhabitable floors. The building's triaxial geometry and Y-shaped plan make it ideal for residential hotel use because they give more surface area per unit, for example, more windows, rather than larger interior spaces, which would be more ideal for office use. A hexagonal core surrounds the elevators, and since it would not have been big enough to span the necessary height on its own, it is buttressed by the 3 wings of the building. One wing at each entire suspect in a spiraling pattern.
Ornamentation is elements added to something to enhance the appearance. In this case, the Dubai Fountain. The Dubai Fountain is the world's largest choreographed fountain system set on 30-acre man-made Burj Khalifa Lake. At the center of the downtown Dubai development in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, it was designed by Wet Design. The fountain shoots water jets as high as 500 feet. That is 150 meters. It's equivalent to that of a 50-story building. These shooters create a loud boom noise after water is ejected. The extreme shooters are used the least during each show because it takes a lot of time to build up enough pressure and energy to shoot the water that high in the air. Over 6,600 wet superlight are used. The beam of light shining upward from the fountain can be seen from 20 miles away and will be visible from space, making it the brightest spot in the Middle East and quite possibly the entire world. The Dubai Fountain has performance daily, with the performance repertoire including Summer Dubai. All of the fountain's performances are accompanied by music played through speakers around the lake. Burj Khalifa is surrounded by an 27-acre park designed by landscape architects Swa Group. The design of the park is also inspired by the core design concepts of Burj Khalifa, which is based on the symmetries of the desert flower Himonocalis. The Dubai Park, inspired by Burj Khalifa's unique triple-lobed shape. The park's 11 hectares of greenery and water features serves as both entry to Burj Khalifa and outdoor living space. The landscape design includes 3 distinct areas to serve as each tower's 3 uses, which is hotel, residential, and office space. The gardens are partly irrigated with water collected through Burj Khalifa's condensate collection system. This water, stored in the basement car park, provides about 15 million gallons of supplemental water per year. That's really a lot. That's equivalent to nearly 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools. The plants and the shrubbery will be watered by the building's condensation collection system that uses water from the cooling system. At the center of the park and the base of Burj Khalifa is the water room, which is a series of pools and water to jet fountains. In addition, the railing, benches, and signs incorporate images of Burj Khalifa and the flower. As a conclusion, these decorations project a better image to Burj Khalifa and makes it look nicer. These ornamentations complements the look of Burj Khalifa by being designed to match the style of Burj Khalifa. This creates a stunning appearance to Burj Khalifa, making it one of the most beautiful buildings in the world.
In total, the construction of the Burj Khalifa required 2,300,000 cubic meters of concrete, the foundation alone using over 45,000. The foundation consists of 192 concrete piles, which are each buried 50 meters beneath the surface. 31,400 metric tons of steel rebar were used to reinforce the concrete. All this rebar, laid end to end, would stretch over more than a quarter of the earth. In addition to concrete and steel, each major materials used are glass, silicon, and aluminium, which make up the outside facade of the tower. In massive structures like the Burj Khalifa, the concrete used in construction must be able to withstand the thousands of tons bearing down on it. Consequently, a special mix of reinforced concrete with high compression strength was used on the Burj Khalifa. Because of the high temperature, in Dubai during the day, which can be as high as 48 degrees Celsius or 118 Fahrenheit, concrete was poured only at night when it is cooler and much more humid. In addition, ice was added to the concrete during mixing to cool it further. The reason behind these procedures is that concrete dries more evenly when cooled and is thus less likely to form cracks. In such a massive project, cracks could have disastrous consequences. The concrete's flow behavior also had to be kept in check. To test it, a sample was poured onto a plate and was deemed acceptable based on whether or not it can be spreaded far enough. In 2007, concrete was pumped from the ground to a height of 601 meters, breaking the previous pumping record held by a skyscraper in Taipei, Taiwan, which is Taipei 101. At this level, the pumping pressure was nearly 200 bars. Because of the incredible height, concrete was flowing through the pumping lines for extended periods of time, wearing the inside of the pipes. To ensure that the pipes did not have to be replaced from time to time during construction, long-life pumps with thick walls of 11 millimeters are used.
132,000 square meter curtain wall, making of the Burj Khalifa, is made of aluminium, silicon, and glass. It consists of over 24,000 panels, especially designed to save energy. Their high-performance reflective glazing